quite simple, actually. We really had two parts. The first part was building the concept of what we wanted for our business stakeholders to receive. And I could do that myself quite easily. The second part was then getting it technically done and complete in Syngro. And that was basically done by a 25-year-old university graduate, a marketing guy who's got no technical background really at all. And he found that quite easy to do. The only difficulty we found was that once we saw the power of what Syngro could do, we really wanted to get more done in it and use it more and drive more analysis and more insights. And so it just took us more time to be able to put that all together and get it in exactly the way that we wanted. But overall, it was relatively simple. Well, we really had a couple of challenges. I mean, the first one was in terms of skill. A lot of our people in the businesses had access to customer feedback data, but didn't have the technical skills to be able to analyse it and present that and understand that to other people and to themselves. The second one was time. The people who did have those technical abilities don't have the time to do that every month or every quarter, or even on a more regular basis. And the third one was the lack of repeatability. Sure, I can do a one-off analysis for our customer feedback now, but then what happens next week or next month? So we really had a couple of problems there, and Syngro helped us pretty much with all three of them. Now we've got PDF reports that go straight into our managers' inboxes every single month for each of our businesses. So there is no technical skill that they need. They just need to be able to open up a PDF document or open up a web browser, which is relatively simple. In terms of time, all you've got to do is open up an email or a document. Again, it doesn't take you much time. Instead, you can spend your time using it to improve the experience you're giving to your customers and the work that you're doing with the rest of the business internally. And thirdly, in terms of repeatability, it happens every single month on the first day of the month. At least that's how we set it up anyway. So I don't have to worry about it. It is repeatable. It just happens. It's automated. And that's one of the things we love about it. So we've tried a couple of other systems for other data sets. We've got a lot of procurement data, for example. And so we've used things like Power BI, Click, to analyze those things. And that's great. They're good tools, no problem. But they're not really specific for customer feedback and customer satisfaction, whereas Syngro is. And so that's the thing that really sets it apart. All these analysis that you can do and all the reporting you can do is specific for customer satisfaction and customer feedback. And so that's why we use Syngro, because it is specific for that use. And it's really good for that use as well. So one positive experience that really sticks in my mind is the first time we released these reports into our divisions and businesses. And within about 24 hours, I get a phone call from one of the guys asking me if I've got 10, 15 minutes free just to talk him through it a little bit more in detail. And this was somebody that we hadn't actually sent the report to. It had been forwarded on to him and the rest of his team by their manager. And he just wanted to understand more about how did this all work? Where did all the data come from? How actually can they use this? And we took him through it. And he was actually not just quite impressed, but he learned something new from this. And he's now a regular receiver of the reports that we provide through every month. And so we're really getting some usage out of this and some engagement across our business, which is one of the key things if you're trying to drive customer engagement. So it's quite obvious how a customer satisfaction orientated program can help a sales or marketing department. What we weren't expecting, which was a kind of unforeseen benefit, is how it also helps other departments in our business. So we run global improvement projects in each of our businesses and divisions. And one thing that they've really lacked previously is the voice of the customer in those improvement projects. So manufacturing, engineering and product design, even procurement in our supply chain. And by being able to have these reports and having them automated and having them sent out across our businesses, actually other functions outside of sales and marketing have also been able to use this to understand the voice of the customer and understand what different sections and segments of customers really want and need in the words of those customers. And we can then use them for our own internal improvement programs and projects. And that's a really powerful thing that we didn't really have before. We obviously, like most businesses, have got key accounts, and these key accounts are really important for our business. And our management realised that one key account in particular, I won't name the name, was having problems with us. They were becoming a little bit more dissatisfied with us. They were having more problems across multiple sets of performance indicators with our business. And it took a while for us to realise that this was a problem. And when it did, one of the first things that the management wanted was to understand the historic customer feedback. And that was just at the time that we were releasing these Syngro reports. So we could give them, bang, 18 months worth of customer feedback data for this key account with all this different analysis. In which countries were they satisfied? In which countries were they dissatisfied? Across what type of stakeholders and customer people and functions did they have that relative satisfaction? How did that compare to our competition? So we could give that not only to the management, but most importantly to the key account manager, who knew that there was a customer survey tool, who'd seen some ad hoc analysis, but had never seen something so structured. And so now that guy's given us some feedback, we've built that into our reports, and he now gets every quarter this 8-page report with all of this different type of feedback specifically for his key account. And he uses this on a quarterly basis. It's a fundamental part now of how he can improve our relationship with that key account. And so we could track the satisfaction previously going worse and worse and worse. And then after some improvement projects, let's say, and some engagement with our management and with the customer, you can then see it start to get better and better and better. And now it's gone back into the positive, and you can see the trend is continuing. And that's a really good thing, not only for us and our business, but also for our customer as well. So we had an existing customer survey system, and then we used to just download the results into Excel, and people used to manually manipulate it on an ad hoc basis in Excel and make things to put into PowerPoint slides. And that's a little bit problematic, and the quality of that ranged from some people who are really good at it, doing it once a year, to some people who did it quite regularly and perhaps wasn't so good. So we had a lot of problems previously. Top reasons. Number one, automated. We love the fact that it's automated, and that was something we really wanted right from the start. Number two, it's relatively easy to set up. It doesn't require a degree in programming or anything like that. Myself and a non-technical graduate could do it ourselves. And number three, it's beautiful. People actually want to look at it. You get a map of your customer satisfaction with all these red, yellow, greens across the whole map, and people look at it and go, why is that red? Why is that green? They want to understand it a bit more. And that's the managing directors of our business giving us this kind of feedback. Compared to everything else in our company, this looks beautiful. People want to read it. People want to understand it. And that's a really lovely step. And they're easily the three reasons why we wanted to have Syngro embedded in our business. Really, I think that's the additional reason we'd kind of recommend is the team that sits behind Syngro, the technical team especially, and the key account team are really very, very competent, and they've been very helpful for us. So I'd really like to thank them, actually.